Yes, sir.
All right. Get you to read this and you can fill this out. I'll take care of the very last line there at the bottom.
Well, you already have it, you know, that's what you do. Well, you already got the packet going.
Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do is, this interview has been recorded. We'll introduce ourselves for the interview, and then we'll start with me and we'll end with you. Detective Allen, badge 7025.
Sergeant Luis Cruz, badge number 8042.
Okay. All right, Sergeant Cruz, you're here because of an incident that happened over off of 30 with an individual by the name of this individual right here, Mr. Kyle Vess,
Yes,
who was
sir.
arrested for assault on a public servant.
Yes, sir.
He set some grass on fire on the service road there
Yes, sir.
behind, kind of close to Lone Star. I believe that's Lone Star.
2700
Lone Star.
DLW.
Yeah.
Service Road on the westbound side.
Yeah. All right, and so a couple of our Dallas police officers arrived to the scene to assist DFR with the fire and this individual here, who was laying out on the service road there,
Yes, sir.
stretched out. So you remember the arrest?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the information you were given by the officers when you arrived?
When I arrived, they were about to put him on the stretcher.
Okay.
Now they decided he's gonna go in the ambulance and he will not be riding on a vehicle, on a squad car.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I thought it was safer due to the way he was not complying. He was, kind of pushing away as they were trying to, calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
But one of our officers, and it was Officer Jessica Cuddy, she told me, Sarge, they told me excited delirium patient. I said, okay. And he punched a firefighter. I said, what? He said, he punched him in the face. I said, where's he at? I said, he's over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to him and he had his head down, so I couldn't see him. He had like a DFD baseball cap. And I said, hey, were you assaulted? He said, yeah. I said, well, let me talk to you. Because he was trying to walk away, and I said, let me talk to you. What, are you all right? Do you need treatment? I mean, fire for your coworkers here that could treat you. And he said, no, I'm all right. I said, so let me see your face. When he looks up, his nose is red. I mean, it's like from the middle of the eyebrows all the way down to the tip of the nose. And I said, wow. I said, well, let me ask you this, because I have to write a critical incident form for the chain of command, notifying from supervisors and above. But when I see the redness on the nose, I said, was that a punch? He said, yeah, he punched me. I said, was it a closed fist or his slap? He said, no, closed fist. I said, do you know what hand it was? Because I got to do a report. He said, I don't remember the hand. He said, I don't want to press charges. I said, well, you're a public servant. You just got assaulted. It's not, you don't want to press charges. I have to fully look at everything here because you're an employee of the city of Dallas. You just got punched in the face. I said, I got to see this. No, I'm all right. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. He's a patient. I said, regardless, we have to thoroughly do our job.
Mm-hmm.
DPD side, we have to see it. Well, I don't want to do anything. I said, okay. So I'm still, in my mind, I'm still going to do my job. I got to do everything. So when I get in before I left, their captain was there. He said, what are you going to do with this? I said, well, I have to send notification to the chain of command, you know, my whole chain of command. But at this, I don't understand, I guess he probably saw everything at the scene, and since I didn't see anything yet, right? So I said, no, I'm just gonna send it up to, you know, I'm gonna send out my chain of command. He said, and that's it? I said, yeah, that's it. Thinking that it's an excited delirium person and that's all that happened. So when I get in the vehicle, I'm about to go and type up critical incident. Officer Jessica Cuddy calls me. She says, Sarge, you might want to review my body worn camera and look at it. I said, what's going on? She said, when you see it, it seems like the firefighter that got hit, it seemed he kicked him on the floor. I said, well, how did that? I said, well, he was on the floor, and you gotta see the video. So I said, well, wait a minute. And now I'm not sending the critical incident, I'm gonna see the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sit and I'm looking at this, I let Lieutenant Hawkins, my supervisor, I said, you might wanna look at this. And we played it, and it didn't have audio, because the body worn camera, the evidence site to see the station, it doesn't have audio. But you could see him like, he's saying something, the firefighter saying something to the suspect that's on the floor. And then you could see a kick. Mm-hmm. I mean, this ain't no love. He kicked him really good. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, wait a minute. Now I can't do a critical incident for him. I gotta start calling SIU, I gotta call public integrity, notify the chain of command, but from lieutenant and above. I can't put this out for supervisor and above, because this was gonna be an investigation. And I know how this could get out of hand. I said, well, let me leave it like that. And from there, notified, then I called public integrity and all that. But then I looked at it again in my computer at where I work at Lake West. I have audio there. He's telling him to get up, you know, talking over him, and there I could see the audio. So
Who's telling who to get up?
The firefighter
Is telling him to get up?
telling the suspect like to get up. Mm-hmm. You could listen to it, because I didn't have audio. So when I played it I wanted to listen to it. I was like, I'm sure I could get audio where I work at my workplace. So I'm up there at Lake West, and you can see that he's telling him like to get up, mm-hmm. and then he kicks him. And I see the whole thing, but this time I have audio. Mm-hmm. But by then I had turned in, I did, notified, wrote the facts and all that, and that's where I'm at right now. Now you guys are calling me.
Well, now when I saw the video, and I could be wrong, go look at it again. I didn't hear the word get up, but I did hear him say, I told you not to get up.
Okay. Maybe
that's what I heard.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, but what we're going to do is clear it up right now, okay. Allow you to look at it. Okay. Because, and that's one thing we try to do in our office is get it right.
Right.
No, we try to figure out, and I try to bring in as many people involved that was there so we can make sure that before we leave the closing case out, we get it all right. And that's for in fairness of the complainant, right. And everybody involved, citizens, everybody, and all that's involved in this. Because I didn't hear that part. I heard him say, I told you don't get up. Now, there's a lot of things that happened before that kick, which led to that kick. And so we were able to go out and retrieve video from the building. And this Mr. Kyle Vess, I don't know if you noticed when you got there, there were patches of grass that was set on fire.
I saw a big patch of grass burnt.
Yeah, he this camera right here captured everything. Went out to the scene and just kind of give you piece by piece what happened. That camera sits at the end of the building.
Right.
We'll say this.
And I remember the building, what it looks like.
You're coming up this direction because it's a one-way.
The westbound, yeah.
Here's the first patch of grass. Pretty much the same photo.
And that's the one you received.
Here's the second.
Clearly, you see that one when you approach.
He started down here, firemen are putting fire out down here. He worked his way down here, that's where the engine is parked right at the end of this patch. He set that on fire. He was going to set a third one. While they were putting this fire out, you can't see it right there, but right here, he was setting the third.
You were gonna set a third one?
The guy who, Cox, who kicked him, went down to put this fire out. While doing so, Vess charges at him out into the service road. And that's when he took a swing at Vess, and from the video you can see the red mark on Vess' face. That's where the fighting. Now he had to put him down several times. Now at the time when they were going around and around, he was the only one out there with this individual. Although there were other firemen, they didn't jump right in and help. They kind of stood back and they tried to hold him down. And then the guy jumped back up. They went back at it again. So there was a lot that led to that. Because I was wondering when I heard him say, I told you don't get back up. I said, it's something else to this, we just don't have the video. So I went out there, we retrieved the video from this building here, and they covered the whole thing. I said, okay, that explains that. Because he knows this guy, what he's capable of doing. We had this guy, Dad's come in.
On Vess?
On Vess, a few days later. He found out through a friend that his son was arrested and told us that his son suffers from mental illness, a lot of other things he's going through.
We called his mom at the hospital.
Oh, did you?
We called his mom because we trying to notify somebody that he's at the hospital, you know, in case they start, we don't know where he's at. And his mom, you know, kind of put it out there that, you know, he's,
Yeah, so he suffers from a lot, and so I was talking with the Cuddy, and she said that since the little intel that they got on him, that and he was starting to sweat and stuff, she wanted to make sure they had enough people to deal with him, so they was waiting on cover, and that's when that happened between those two. And so that's why the guy put him back down, and then they had to tase him. They kicked him, tell him to keep him down around, and
she tased him when he got up to attack him. Yeah.
Right. So it was a lot that happened, and I told those officers, I said, thank goodness this video was playing, and then you guys were wearing your body cams. I said, because if this didn't happen, we'll be somewhere else with this case. So this video did help out a lot. And so I want to play this back, let you look at this. The body cam, this is Cuddy's body cam.
Yeah, that's the one. Hiccups.
Yeah. This is them arriving.
Yeah, she's the passenger.
Can you see that?
Yes, sir. Oh, I see it clearly.
Oh shit, why did I touch it?
Could have left it there. I can see it from here.
Yeah, but I done something, took it off the screen. Oh,
There it is. Okay, perfect.
Guys start fires. Okay.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
What? They're trying to fight y'all? Who's fighting you guys? I guess he's trying to fight him. So we're gonna get him in handcuffs and we'll take him back. But he's trying to fight him.
so he steps back to get gloves, and then this happens.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Get up again?
He said, I told you don't get up again.
Wait. He's trying to fight y'all? He's fighting you guys? I guess he's trying to fight him. So we're gonna give him an handcuffs and we'll take him back. But he's trying to fight him.
Don't get up again. He's telling him don't get up again. When he's standing over him, I'm gonna show you this video. It's recent, so you'll see what I'm talking about.
Lay down.
Well, what happened prior?
Do it again. You're
So
gonna
what
do it
happened prior,
again.
they were talking about it.
Yeah.
So everything you're saying is consistent.
My radio's not fucking working.
There's the fire that he's trying to start right here.
On your stomach. Don't move.
Get on your stomach.
On your stomach.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is footage video. Video fire. Oh, this one. I probably. Oh, that's what it is. I can't play it from here.
But if you, yeah, everything you're saying is consistent with
Yeah.
what everybody had said out there.
Yeah, I
So,
can't.
you know, you're saying the part about the, you know, that he burned and all that.
Mhm.
We even asked him at the hospital and he said he admitted it, he was, you know, he was out there burning the
Oh, he did?
grass.
Mhm.
No, he's,
Yeah, they got a good video, and when he was released, he also went back out there again. I was told.
because actually my concern was that kick.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, and the deal is that what the officers didn't know, and this what I was when I went back and looked at this, is that they didn't know what this guy, what they had dealt with this guy before they arrived, being in the service room fighting this guy, because he came out into the road charging at this guy.
apparently there wasn't a PVC pipe.
Now, I heard something about a
I
pipe.
heard about that too.
But I didn't see a pipe out on the street, but I'm going days later after you guys. So
Right.
I didn't see a pipe out in the road there, but I heard something. But on the video, on the body cam video, his face is red, the fireman.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
And so,
And that's one of the reasons, when I saw all this, I decided not to put the critical incident up, because I know how anybody could take this, and before you know, it's out on the news, showing that kick, and I was like, you know what?
yeah.
The chain of command will deal with all this.
Yeah.
Integrity.
Yeah, and I'm glad that the building had video footage because it showed a lot more than just that kick. It showed what led up to that kick. And now it makes sense on him giving him an order to stay down because technically no one has placed him under arrest or in handcuffs to control him. And I understand why, because when she comes in, she says she's waiting on an additional person. So, in dealing with someone like this, because they want to make sure they had enough to get him pinned down, and then seeing how many it takes to actually get him with the flex cuffs on his ankles, with that many officers involved. So it's just a lot to play into what that fireman was dealing with when he had him one-on-one, And then when the police arrive, well, he still can get up and do whatever. So, and he has not been searched or whatever at the time. So there's a lot of factors that goes involved into that. And so I'm just glad we had that video that did help out. But unless you have anything else to add to it,
I keep hearing the officers that respond to different locations, that firefighter is aggressive and he's very confrontational. This is the first time I see this. I'm just looking at a person that's on the floor. I mean, I know what he didn't. I mean, and Eric, what you're saying is consistent. I'm just looking at the kick. You know, I mean, if it was one of us, and I don't have, trust me, I have respect for the fire department. You know, they're part of us.
yes.
But if this would have been an officer striking an excited delivering patient like that on the floor, regardless of everything that occurred,
Right.
nothing would have been sustained. I mean,
Let me ask you this. Let's take the fireman out of that position.
Right.
And create that whole scene. And let's say they got the tasers out and they're tasing. They haven't placed them in handcuffs and they're still waiting on covers because they got this individual acting up. If they gave him commands to stay up and he raised his body as if to get up, do you believe they would have been justified in tasing him again and giving him commands to stay on the ground in a prone position? I'm just asking you.
No, I understand. But the taser, the use of the taser is when you have a threat, right? Guy crumbles his hands, right, and comes at you saying he's gonna do with blah 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 to you and all that. You can defend yourself, right? But stay down, and get up and tase him. That, you know, and that's not what happened here. Of course, they tased him because he went. You should see the act of aggression going towards the firefighter.
Right.
I'm okay with that. I'm just looking at the kick. That's my concern.
Yeah. So when I look at it, when I was looking at this, and I'm looking at the totalities of everything involved.
Out of the circumstance.
Yes, we're talking about a fireman with no taser, with no mace, with no gun, with no handcuffs, and who has experienced a hit across the face, who has experienced this individual pushing him into oncoming traffic.
I see that.
And then you also have to keep in mind, I watched the fireman fight this guy one-on-one with 3 other firemen out there that ain't helped yet. So so in my mind, that fireman is still out there in a position of authority. Now, the reason why I say that, when the police were called, when they arrived, they did not take control of that individual on the ground. Regardless of whoever you're waiting on, he's still not under control.
Could have cuffed him.
What else is on him? Is it a pistol? Because no one has checked it at all. All we've done was put him down on that ground and he's laid out. Now, when we get there, he's still free to do whatever he wants to do. So when that fireman is giving him commands, I thought that was interesting to hear him say, that's what said, I gotta go find out if there's other video. When I heard him say, I told you don't get back up, don't get up, he's still in an authoritative figure of saying, I gotta take control of this individual, because if I'm looking at this, in my mind, he's not under control until he's put in handcuffs. So with him getting up, you still allow him to do what he needs to do to have him stand, to keep control of this individual. And what is keeping control of this individual? From what I just saw him do is chase him out into the middle of the street, is to keep him on that ground. Now when the police get involved, we see that it takes a taser, and we see that it takes several individuals to get him handcuffed. So that's how I can see why this fireman is put in a position to have to continue to use force, because when the police, and I even said this before, going back, pulling video, like, why haven't they put him in handcuffs? And he's still laying on the ground, and I said, okay, not taking control of that individual allows a lot of other things to happen.
Gives them a lot of freedom.
Yes, but the fireman didn't have the knowledge of knowing why are they waiting. When she got in here and explained, I said, okay, I can see that. You're wanting additional cover out here. This individual, her partner, didn't realize it was going to go that bad, that fast, because he walked off to get gloves. So when he rushes to come back, he sees that the individual is up now. So a lot of things can happen if we don't jump in and get that guy under handcuffs. But I understand her reasoning for not wanting to is because she said, given the knowledge of what he had tried to do earlier, she felt like it would be best if we had more people involved. I understand that. But in doing that, other things have transpired from that.
Right.
Because there's an individual who's standing over him who knows what this guy's capable of doing. The guy on the ground. She didn't have that knowledge before arriving. She didn't know until seeing the video and I showed him. She said, I had no idea that he had charged the guy into the street, the fireman. So, but before we leave, I do want you to see that, which I just can't play it from this terminal here, because we do have an extended video of the entire incident. So I do want you to see that before we leave. So you'll have a knowledge, because we don't want anyone, not even firemen, not even witnesses, complainants, citizens, to leave here believing that I just still have in the back of my mind this, because there's so much involved that we try to let individuals see, hey, because we don't have anything to hide from anyone. Here's what we have, and I want you to see this, so you'll have a better understanding. And that's what we try to get from everyone. We want everyone to leave here. If that guy shows up and he's under the impression that he didn't do anything, I'll show him that same exact video from beginning to end. I need you to see everything and lay it out for him. Now, and so that's what we try to do, because we don't have anything to hide. So, but I think when you see it, you'll have a better understanding of this individual here. Now, true enough, I don't know anything about this fireman's past. He could be a hothead. I've heard he's an MMA fighter. But I can tell you on this day, this individual who's setting this fire gave him cause to have to defend himself when running at him with no gun. And if I'm looking at the video I looked at, it appeared to me that that guy had a cape around his neck. This Vess guy. There was something dangling from around his neck that looked like a cape when he went running after him into the street. So I don't know what all he was dealing with that day. But from what I've heard from his dad, his son is going through a lot and was just released from a state hospital not too long ago. So, and they've been trying to work with him and getting him to take his medicine to help him in his situation. And they don't believe on that day he had his medicine. The meds that he needs to be able to function. So, but I'll show you that. But if there's anything else you want to add,
No,
great. Because once we finish, it goes to their internal affairs. And I don't know whatever their protocol is for a lot of things. I have no idea. But I can tell you this, on that day, that individual was starting another fire that the fireman who was attacked was putting out, and then he charges at the fireman and pushes him out into the street, and that's when the fight starts. And he was the aggressor. That I can tell you. Because
when you see that kick,
yeah. Well,
you want to send it, do the proper thing.
And that's why we have, and that's why we have investigations. So we can go back and find out all the facts and information and present that, so we can say, okay, here is what we have. And this, and so when you see everything involved, because if all we're going on is that one piece of video, and like I told those officers, if that's all I had to deal with, then we would have a whole different story. And so, and another thing that I brought up to those officers is that when you do a report, if we didn't have that video, when I'm looking at the report, it says nothing about the kick in the office report. It says nothing about the kick. It could have been put in a supplement or some notes somewhere, but nothing said anything about the kick.
With the officer's office?
Yeah. Nothing said it. Have you read it?
I know when I wrote my, facts of what
Yeah.
occurred.
Let me let you read it. So, let's see what we'll talk about. Okay. see the narrative right here? It says narrative. You read that. And if you need to read the rest, you can.
They jumped it. I mean, now you're down to T lesson.
Yeah. You see
Right
how?
before she tased them, she said she should have put that part.
Yes. Now, when you look at it from an individual of a citizen, and when you read that, and if I didn't see this video, it sounded to me the guy was laying on the ground, a fight started, and then she tased him. But it said nothing about him being kicked.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, I was telling this officer is that if everyone does their part, we can link this thing up and make sense of the entire deal. Thank God for the video because it explains a lot. So it's just a lot of other things that, has to be pieced together. And I think the video helps all of this out, from the report down to why is he giving them commands to stay on the ground and not get up. So there's a lot that goes into play. And I told her in the future, I understand, she said that she thought it would hinder the assault that happened earlier. We need all that involved. If you have to put that in a supplement somewhere so we can see after the assault, but she didn't have this information because she said that he really didn't want to do anything, the fireman, which caused the report of not talking about what led, what happened during the assault. So when they got there, there's so much else involved other than because this report only talks about when they arrived, basically, and not what happened earlier. The assault actually happened earlier. And then when he was on the ground, then the kick came. Then that's what caused him to get tased. So much happened, and it'll be easier to read and follow. But that's why we have investigations. We'll put all of that from the start to the end. We'll put that in the report, so it'll all make sense to someone. So it's just that it's just the nature of our business. We have to thoroughly. I know in this office we thoroughly check everything. If you want, would you like to write a statement
No.
on what happened, or would you like to use your video as your statement? Affidavit. Basically, the affidavit is basically saying what you said here. The officers gave you the information.
The only thing I could see that, I see what you're saying from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see that, but.
It will show it to you from another computer. I can't do it from this one here because it doesn't have this right setup to play that disc from here. But I'm gonna set it up in another room here.
I'd be happy if that was my only problem. In the station, it's a problem to get a good computer to even play it.
Well, some of these things, where they recorded this at the format, when I got it, I had a hard time playing it from when he emailed it to me, I had a hard time playing it from my desk. And I had to have someone from IT come up, and they said, hey, here's what you need to do, and so I was able to get it, but we can't get it from here. And I don't know why, but I'll get it played in the other room, let you play it. So would you like to write a statement, or would you like to use this video as your statement?
That's fine.
You want to write a statement?
No, I mean.
You want to use the video? I'm talking about, when I say video, I mean the recording video in this.
Yeah, this is
interview.
fine here.
This is fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
All right.
it's just clear.
Yeah.
I had a little doubt, which you played it right now,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Okay.
My concern was the kick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm glad some citizen drove by and recorded it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would have been on the news. It would have been and then trying to explain the whole thing.
Yes.
Everybody was gonna they were gonna take that kick and run with it.
Right. And there was so much that was happening before that kick. But I'll show you that once we step out and find another computer. But if that's all you have, that ends the interview.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.